Welcome. My name is Marie, and you are listening to Hurricane in My Life. Hurricane in My Life is a podcast where I share my stories, life experiences that are ups and downs. I also occasionally, as you know, if you've been listening for a while, use my podcast as a way to vent and share more than ups. Usually a lot of downs. However, today will maybe be a surprise. Each episode is different and unique. So please sit back, relax, grab some water, as it's best for you, and best to get at least 64 ounces in a day. I want to pause for just a second. Please don't forget that sometimes trigger warnings are needed, they're necessary, they are. So if you feel the topic of today's show is too much for you, or makes you kind of have like that not right feeling, make sure that you do the right thing for you. And maybe that means don't listen. Go ahead, skip. That won't hurt my feelings. Or maybe save it for a time where you would be okay to listen. That's okay too. Please take the necessary steps you need to take care of you, as that's number one. Reach out to your safe person or people to recover. And remember, I am not a professional. I am just a scarred up person trying to educate others about my heartaches and life tragedies. With all that being said, let's get started, shall we? Hey y'all, today's topic is Spina Bifida. It's Awareness Month, so today is all about education and awareness to Spina Bifida. So you'll hear me talk a lot about what it is and what it's like to live with it. Today happens to be Thursday, what are we today, the 12th? We are. I looked just to make sure, but I was right. We're the 12th. That's right, because this episode will come out on the 14th. Which is in 2 days. So what can I start with? What is Spina Bifida, y'all? If you don't know, it is a birth defect that actually happens within the first 6 weeks of pregnancy. And years ago, that was like when you first found out you were pregnant. I think sometimes you can find out a little bit sooner than that. However, back when I was born, that was the case. You also nowadays can do other things like having surgery in the womb if you can afford it. And then there's other things that can happen either during the pregnancy or even later in your child's life as they grow up. Again, none of those things have happened to me in my lifetime, so I'm not gonna focus on those things. Sorry, y'all. Maybe I can get a future person that has dealt with some of those things, maybe make an article for my blog, or maybe I can convince them to be a guest on my show. That will be something to figure out in the future. like I said, I want to focus this on me. Lately, my spina bifida has been a legit pain in my butt. My spina bifida is in L3 and L4 of my spine. So legitly, those two vertebrae are not there. They're non-existent. They really are. What does that mean? So, think of your spinal cord as the motherboard of your entire body. It literally tells the rest of your body, other than, your brain. Your brain sends it signals for you to move. It sends signals for your body to know when you gotta go to the bathroom. It sends signals throughout your body to tell you you're in pain. A lot of different things. There's a lot of different components to the spine. And when you are missing two parts, that is where it comes into effect that your body doesn't work like it should. Like a quote-unquote normal body would work. But y'all, we all have our flukes and our things that we don't like about ourselves and our problems, our uniqueness. I think we can all agree on that. And yeah, so yeah. It's really difficult to deal with the ins and outs of a day in my life at times. Like, people always talking about how they think they know what's best for me. Happened today. Bugs the living crap out of me. Because, honestly, do you really know what it would be like to be me specifically without being in this body? Without being part of, as I said, the motherboard. And people, your spine closes like a zipper, and it starts from your neck to your tailbone. It starts on both ends, and it actually meets up in the center, and it just closes like a zipper. I want to point that out first and foremost before I forget. I know I blabbered about a lot of other things first, but before I forget, I want to mention that. So, we're good. Anyway, yeah, it gets really frustrating that people talk as if they know me. And they see things as problematic, and yet they're not in my eyes. And then I'm like wondering why I'm full of anxiety, why I'm full of depression, and I try to talk about like doing all these good things for myself, and they're like, yeah, you should do that. And then, then you wouldn't have to have all these worries that you have. And it's like, okay, stop, pause. Can you examine how you just talked to me? Can you do that? Because it doesn't really help. It's not really jiving for me. Like a few weeks ago, again, and I'm full of anxiety. I have a lot of anxiety. I try to keep it to myself, which is never good, ever. And I try to downplay it, which is also never good. But another example of something that happened the other day, I was trying to talk about a habit that I'm trying to build. And I was really excited for myself. Yeah, I was freshly started, just a couple days, couple weeks into it, and someone had to poop on my parade and be like, it officially takes 6 weeks to make a habit. And it's like, really? You had a crap on my day and do that and say that. And now it's honestly wrecked my motivation in a lot of ways. And the reason why I'm bringing all this up, I'm getting some motivation. So now that I'm mention that part, this is, okay, hopefully full circle for you, why I bring this up. Being that I know I'm not good on my feet, I know I'm not the smartest person, I know, it takes time for change. So if I'm trying to be my own cheerleader, don't poop on it by being like, oh, but there's this and this and this and this and this. No. I have so much anxiety because of the fact that I'm not mentally okay the rest of the world claims it is. I'm not just mentally not okay, but I'm physically not okay. And why I'm physically not okay is, like I said, I have a hole in my spine, so that affects my walking, that affects my standing ability, it affects my balance, and technically my hydrocephalus is a big contributor to the balance issues. And that's what, again, full circle, trying to be full circle here. That's why when I have someone that comes to my home or into my life and thinks that they know better than me, or they have a fix for something or whatever, and they're like, you should do this because of this, who are you to play boss in Marie's life? Because if you want to play boss and you want things to be perfect, well, I'll gladly let you live in my shoes for a day. Heck, you can live in my shoes for the rest of my life if you want. If you think it's so grand to tell Marie how to live when she's been living for 35 years. I heard the perfect thing today. I don't remember where I heard it from. Oh, I take it back, I do. So, my best friend and I, we came across I think she technically came across it first. We came across a great resource. It's called MindSpring, and it's based out of Iowa, which is in the Midwest, like I am. And the person that's on the webinars each time they're on, she was talking something about something that ended up resonating with me, of how when people do things for other people or tell them how they should do something or live or whatever, it totally crushes their self-awareness and their own self-confidence. They will look to people, end up being codependent then throughout the rest of their life or whatever, unless it gets nipped in the butt. Basically, that they will be codependent on those types of things, and they will not be reassured of themselves. And that totally resonated with me, because it's like light bulb. And I never thought about it like that. I never thought that I knew there was a problem, but I never put two and two together that what it was. Other people living their lives and then trying to act as boss of my life. It's like, whoa. This is why I might look like I'm a confident person. And most of the time I would say I am. I would say like probably 60 to 70% of the time I'm a very confident person. And there's just some people that I will be like, yeah, not today, Satan. And there are some people out there that I have a lot of love and respect for, and I respect their opinion. And sometimes that bites me in the butt, literally. And this is why. Because I respect the person and I care about what they have to say. So then I feel like anytime they say something in a way that's like they're trying to redirect me or re-steer me into the direction they want for me, then I'm like, crap. Why did I just do this to try and impress them or get them off my back? And it totally blew up in my face. Crap. But again, that's not totally about my spina bifida. That's just a small envelope in the whole pie. That's like a small slice. So, what are some other things that are about my spina bifida that because of it I probably wouldn't have those opportunities? Well, I can tell you I wouldn't live where I live now because it's a place for elderly and disabled. I wouldn't have probably the majority of the friends that I have because honestly I find that a lot of disabled people, they have like cliquey friends, so like they are more drawn to people that are disabled like that, maybe not the same disabilities, maybe, you know, a mixture of disabilities, but nonetheless they have some kind of a disability or health problem. Now, that's not to say that all of my friends have disabilities, because they don't. I just personally find myself that more comfortable to hang around people with other disabilities because, quite frankly, they know more about my world and what's going on in it, and they know more of what it feels like to live in it. The other majority of the people I hang out with are people that are older than me. So, like, the fact that I live at a place where elderly and disabled live, it's phenomenal for me. Because I like to be around people that are older than me. Not so much younger than me. Don't get me wrong, I do hang out with people that are younger than me. I am saying I am more comfortable in that older than me group. You could be 5 years older than me. I'm gonna be more comfortable with someone in that age range, excuse me. See, that sometimes fast, not recommending it. But anywhere between 5 and say like 90, 100, whatever. I'm gonna be more comfortable with those people right off the bat, just because I am. I honestly can't give a definitive answer other than I just am. I don't know if they're just wiser. I don't know if it's because it's a wiser thing or they're just more accepting than youth or whatever, because youth go through their whole own tropical storms of hurdles, okay? So I find it's best not to be around people that can't figure out their crap. Now, it's not to say you have to have your crap, so to speak, figured out 24/7. Not saying that, because we're not all perfect. Never gonna be perfect. So, one area, or multiple areas in my life, but the first that I'm gonna mention at the moment is I live on my own, but maintaining my apartment on my own is a gigantic nightmare. It really is. If I get too lax with things, then all of a sudden they pile up, they get overwhelming, and then I don't know where to start. I really don't. However, I've got a pretty good start on my chaos at home. I've been working on it for a good solid month. Is it perfect? No. Is it gonna be? Probably not. However, I'm working to make it the best possible living situation for myself. And I have people to help me do it. And those are the people that I'm going to hold on to what they have to say and, care about how they uplift me instead of drag me through the mud, like some people in my life can do. Number 2, the second area to where I struggle quite a bit in my life is because of my spine. My spine does not tell my body that, hey, you gotta go potty. So, what does that mean for me? I have a lot of bowel movement issues and I have a lot of urinary problems. I actually have a condition that I will be teaching people about next month, which is my neurogenic bladder. One that I had talked about last month is my hydrocephalus. My hydrocephalus does mess with me on a semi-regular basis because if I sit up from laying down or something like that too quickly, I tend to get dizzy and I lose my balance quickly. Okay, being very honest about that, my balance is not 100%. It's just not. So another problem I have is my neurogenic bladder, meaning I have times where I wet in between having to go potty. The only way I know how to avoid is through a catheter. I have bowel issues. I've been trying for years different bowel programs to try for management. None of them have worked for me specifically. What I have found in the last few years from talking to my primary care physician is I take a probiotic daily. That seems to help. Is it perfect? Is it 100%? Not at all. But it does help. There are certain foods that I've just learned to not eat as frequent, and if I can, not eat at all, because that seems to help even better. So, I stay away from a lot of dairy. I don't have a ton of dairy in my diet, and that sucks when you live in the dairy state, which is Wisconsin. also can't eat certain vegetables, and I can't eat certain fruits. Now, that doesn't mean I don't eat any of them, because they are my two favorite food groups. I don't eat a lot of grains, except for pasta. Noodles of any kind, I could eat, like, all the time. I really could. Let's see, what else can I say? I'm already over 20 minutes, so this will be the longest episode I've had in quite a while. I really hope you enjoy that. I know I've blabbered a lot in this episode. I'm really sorry about that. I try to have notes beforehand, and I kind of did have an idea of what I want to talk about, but I didn't type out all of what I wanted to say. I just had like a general idea, and I thought, well, I'm just gonna go with whatever. I literally let the Holy Spirit, people, lead me, so whatever it comes is just pure natural authenticity coming from these lips, people. It really is. I have many doctors that oversee my different health issues. As you know, I just recently saw my brace doctor as I got new braces. I see my therapist once a month. I just saw her a couple days ago. I have a good approach on how to tackle the next few weeks until I see her again, which I might share with you more in a future episode, because honestly, I've had some good epiphanies lately that might end up becoming potty epiphanies. And I don't know if I mentioned potty epiphanies. I might have to have an epiphany episode pretty soon. I don't know. Like I said, the rambling's starting, so that is a good sign to stop, pause, add later if necessary. Might add some more in the morning and record some more. Otherwise, if I don't, be blessed, be happy, share kindness and compassion always, and remember, you are loved. Love you, people. Hey y'all, bet you're wondering how you can find me other than my podcast. The answer is, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Sweet Thoughts by Marie. You can also follow my blog, hit the subscription button. It is Sweet Thoughts by Marie. You can find it by typing in the search engine Sweet Marie's, make sure there's an S on the end of Marie, Thoughts, also a S on the end of Thoughts, .wordpress.com. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you stick around. There will be links to email as well as my different websites I can be found on in the description of this episode. Thanks.